In the quiet streets of Bonteheuwel, tragedy struck once again. Tragedy that reminds us of the true cost of gang violence. On Friday, August 22, a 3-month-old baby's life was cut short, in the most heartbreaking way imaginable. Caught in the middle of a gang rivalry, the infant was fatally wounded.
We deployed our law enforcement and SAPS teams as quickly as we possibly could to the scene. In between the deployment of these officers and the reports we were receiving, we were informed of the 3-month-old baby boy that was shot. Initially, it was thought that he was shot in Crossfire, but as our law enforcement teams entered the area and got more information, we were informed that, in fact, the child was somewhat used as a shield. The child was on the arm of a targeted person, and the rival gang opened fire on this person and shot the child. Both the others had survived. The child was immediately rushed to the Vanguard Day Hospital, which is about 2 kilometers away from where the incident took place. When the child got there, the child was in a very critical condition. They managed to resuscitate the child and stabilize the child, which brought a lot of hope and it made, it really brought some hope to the community. Unfortunately, as the child was being prepared to be transported to the Red Cross Children's Hospital, the child subsequently crashed on the table, and attempts to resuscitate the child were unfortunately fruitless.
What makes this tragedy even more painful is that the child was reportedly used as a human shield. In that moment, innocence was robbed of its right to live, showing bare the cruelty of both sides. Gang wars don't just destroy lives of those who choose the path of violence, they spill over to families, communities, and the most vulnerable among us. To hold a baby as a shield is beyond senseless, and to pull the trigger without mercy, even knowing a child is in harm's way, shows the depth of disregard for human life. Bonteheuwel and many other communities have lived under the shadow of gang rivalries for years. What's often forgotten is that, behind every gunshot, there are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and in this case, a tiny soul, whose only crime was being in the arms of adults who failed to protect him. This tragedy should force us to pause and ask, how many more children must be buried before we realize that gang violence is not a fight for survival, it is a cycle of destruction that leaves scars for generations. The 3-month-old baby should have had a lifetime of laughter, first steps, and milestones. Instead, their short life has become yet another reminder of how urgent it is for communities, leaders, and families to stand together against the scourge of gang violence. No parent should ever bury a child, and no child should ever be caught in the crossfire of rivalry. Remember to like, comment, and share for more true crime stories.